Welcome back in. This segment of our show brought to you by Madisonville Marine. And you know somebody who went down to Madisonville Marine and will tell you there's no better place to buy a boat? I'm guessing it's Bob Hodge. Bob.
Yes, I will tell you there's no place to buy a boat. And I will be out on the lake this weekend in my boat. It's coming up weekend. I'm not hunting.
You're not hunting?
I'm fishing.
Fishing. That's outstanding. All right. You were very happy with not only the purchase of the boat, but the customer service?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
had an
I've
issue.
Gone down there, had
Factory?
an issue with the boat that was a manufacturer's issue. Madisonville Marine took care of it quicker than any car dealership. We're not sponsored by a car dealership, are we?
No.
No, okay. Quicker than any car dealership I've ever had deal with an issue. Madisonville Marine took care of it.
All right, very good. All right, actually, we probably do have some car spots running, but those folks you should trust. Okay.
I can vouch for him.
Mike can vouch for him. Here we go. I want to talk quickly about some situational stats. This show went off the rails about 10:58 this morning. So, all right. Let me show you some numbers here. First, Tennessee versus the BCS opponents on their schedule. This will compare 2013 to 2012. The rushing number's about the same, but the big drop-off is in the passing game, obviously. Is that about what you would have expected, or is it a little worse?
Actually, the rushing through this point is maybe a little bit better than I would have expected, considering you've already played 3 big-time opponents. You're still up around 144. I know you've played 3 small-time opponents too, but they ran the ball very well last week against Georgia. So, I'm kind of happy with where the run game is. I thought the offensive line this week played better. But I'm not surprised at all that the passing is way, way down. Not just because of the quarterback, because you lost 2 good receivers as well.
Yeah, I've got no gripe with the running game.
I would have a gripe up until the Georgia game. In terms of against Oregon and Florida, I didn't think they looked like the big dogs that
I know.
The yards against Oregon were a lot in the second half when it was pretty much over. Florida, they didn't run the ball well at all. Georgia, they did run it well. The thing, though, with the run game is they're not getting a lot of help from the passing game, and that skews it a little bit too.
That's why I have no gripe.
Very good. All right, let's take another look at some rushing numbers. This is their overall rushing numbers. I thought this was interesting. On first downs, they're averaging 5.79 yards per carry. That's great. All right. Second downs, a little under 5 yards carry. Third downs, down to 2.67. On third and 1, or third and 2, and third and 3 downs, 2.92. They have converted only 9 of 38 attempts when it's been a third and 1 to 3 yard down.
Who was it that was praising the offensive line here just a minute ago? If I'd have seen that number, because that just shows you when it's third and short, they're not getting the job done. So now I've got to go back and retract the earlier statement praising the offensive line.
I think a lot of people have to look at that second half against Georgia. I mean, so many things are being hung on that second half against Georgia that, okay, that's what you're going to see from here on out. But I think if you saw that, if that was a corner turned, then I think you're going to see those numbers improve. The question is, do you think that corner was turned, or is it just a blip so far?
That remains to be seen. I'm not sure.
I demand an answer.
There has not been enough consistency to tell. The one thing that, and I know Tennessee wants this, and it was mentioned the other day, they want the quarterback to keep it more. And I think Justin Worley doesn't run it as much as he should because he's not confident in his running ability. But the last 3 times he's kept the ball, he's gained at least 10 yards.
10 yards a pop.
But if it's not a wide open hole of 40 yards wide, he won't run it. And they want him to run it more. They're okay if he gets 5 or 7 yards.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yes, yeah.
But he's not confident in his running ability, and I think that's affected the run game.
Okay.
They would be better if he would do that and get 4, 5, 6 yards. They would be better. Yeah.
I'd like to go back to that third and short number. That's very concerning. When you've got an offensive line that is supposed to be made up entirely of all NFL guys, I would not have guessed that number would have been that low.
Well, I've been talking about it on Sundays for the last month, but nobody listens to me until I put numbers up. All right, ball passing numbers. Let's go ahead and take a look at see. I just thought this was kind of interesting. The average quarterback rating in the SEC is around 150. Worley on first downs, 122. On second downs, 89. Third downs, 118. They've converted 19 of the 57 third down tries when he has dropped back to pass the ball. I thought the second down thing's kind of interesting, but he's below average in first and third downs, way below average on second down. Thoughts? Anything?
The second down number could be because maybe you have some second and shorts and you're taking shots downfield, you're taking some lower percentage passes. That would maybe account for the discrepancy between those two numbers. but that's not very good when you're that far below the average in the.
I looked at the SEC stats before Saturday's games, and they list 15 quarterbacks, 1 through 15, in pass efficiency rating. Justin Worley is not on that. He's below the top 15.
That's because South Carolina has 2, and maybe Mississippi State has 2.
He's barely below it.
Maybe
but
Driscoll's
he's
still
below
on
it.
there.
He's about
Driscoll could still be
121,
on there.
I think, is his pass efficiency rating right now.
If he can play like he did the second half against Georgia, I think they'll be okay.
There we go
But-
again. Yeah, back to the second half against Georgia. Let me ask you this one. Let's put this one up there. Run pass selection. On first down, Tennessee has run the ball 130 times. They've thrown it 54. Second down, 83 runs, 56 passes. Third down, 56 runs, 57 passes. Now, before anybody says that the second down number drops because they're predictable, I looked up Georgia, and their numbers were about the same. I just took Georgia at random because they've got a good run game, good pass game. Their numbers were about the same. Does anything stand out to you in looking at that run-pass ratio?
I really think that once you get through the next 2 ball games, it's going to be interesting to see where it is then, because you might be a little bit skewed right now because you did play 3 of the weaker teams. You were able to run the ball a little bit more effectively. Let's see where it is after you play South Carolina and Alabama, and see if you can keep that ratio. I think that's good. I think that's great. I mean, it's balanced.
Okay. All right, very good. When we come back, we are going to do a scorecard segment. We're going to hand out midterm grades. Rushing offense, look at Mike. He's getting ready because he's going to be over at the YP board. He knows that. He's getting in the sprinter's pose. He's going to get in the 3-point stance and explode off the line. Going back in the Enrichment Sports Source.